Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's doing good. Do you guys see my dog right here? Oh, now he doesn't want to be in the video. Today I have an exciting video, and it is my mid-year Freakout book tag. Mid-year Freakout book tag, it's like 10 questions, 10 to 15 questions, something like that, about the books that you've read for the first half of the year. And I had to find those questions because nobody had them anywhere, so I kind of just had to go do some research and all that fun stuff. But I have my answers here. I have all the books that I answered my questions for and the questions pertaining to those books. Yeah, got them right here. But I have never done the Freakout book tag. I've never done a book tag in general, so please be patient with me as I go through everything on this list, because there's a lot going on and I try to condense it down as much as I could so you guys are not sitting here through like an hour-long video. I like hour-long videos, but just not me doing them. You know what I'm saying? But yes, without further ado, everybody, let's get on into the video. Okay, so the first question is the best book of 2021 so far. So that would be Don't Tell a Soul by Kristen Miller. So this book, it is about a girl named Bram who is sent to live with her uncle in like this really big house that he's renovating himself after a conflict that happened in her town. Her mother just sends her here to stay out of trouble because all the kids just happen to be a problem in these towns and they have to be sent away. Yeah, it's like one of those situations. So Bram goes to the house and lives with her uncle, and her uncle is like a father to her. She absolutely adores this man. But while she is there, she's learning about the house and the town, where she's starting to notice some things that are a little bit off, and she starts seeing apparitions that are in the house that she lives in with her uncle. And she meets the kids in the town and they start giving her little things about the house, and Bram starts to notice some things are just quite not right. And as it goes on in the book, oh my goodness, like the ending just broke my heart, because there's just so much trust that is just like, I don't want to spoil the book for anybody, but Bram goes through a lot. And just for trigger warnings, there is sexual assault, there is drug abuse, mental health issues also in the book that are mentioned that Bram is going through. For Bram, there are some things that she has to live with after some events that goes on. But yes, Don't Tell a Soul by Kristen Miller. This one was my favorite book so far of the year of 2021. So the next question is best sequel in 2021 so far. And everybody knows I am a truly devious fan, so I have The Box in the Woods. So far, this one was, what was the question? This book was the best sequel so far. And the Truly Devious series, it's about a girl named Stevie Bell, where she goes to the school and she makes her high school project about solving the mystery of the school, where the daughter and the mother of the guy who owned the school went missing and they never found out what happened to them. So Stevie ends up going through her high school years in the books and just to solve the mystery. But this book is actually a spin-off of after she's not graduated, but it's going to be her senior year. She gets invited to a camp where there was a quadruple murder in the woods of the camp with camp counselors, and the head honcho of the school invites her to solve the mystery while also being a camp counselor, as kind of like a cover, because she's not supposed to really be solving the mystery, like that kind of thing. But this one was the best one so far, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. That doesn't mean I didn't like it, but I loved how these characters progressed, and they literally got older in the book. And I know that sounds crazy, but when it comes to them, it's just like, you guys know that transition from high school to college, to where, you know, you lose friends, people separate, and you really start to see Stevie having to come to terms with people separating and not seeing each other and everybody going on their own life. And then she also still is dealing with her anxiety, where you also see how she copes better with her anxiety and she finds ways to help her, which I thought was super awesome. And this book is by Maureen Johnson. This one was the best sequel that I read for the year of 2021. I really hope that she continues writing these books, because good Lord Almighty, if I can't read these books anymore, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. So the next question is a new release you haven't read but want to read. So that is going to be Opie's Ghost by Justina Ireland. So this book is about a young black girl named Opie, or Ophelia Harrison, and she lives in I believe she lives in New Orleans in 1922. So Ophelia sadly either witnesses or she knows about the lynching of her father in the town. So her and her mother lose her father, and she has to go live with her mother in this manor as maids. But after the event of the lynching of her father, Ophi finds out that she can see ghosts, and while she's at the new manor, which is like Daisy Manor, Daffodil Manor, it's the mansion is called Daffodil Manor. She starts to see ghosts of the manor, but there's one particular ghost where she sees, and they become friends, and Ophi starts realizes that this ghost died a really terrible death and an unjustly death. So Ophi is out to figure out what happened and why that person was killed the way they were killed. And while she's going through the mansion, she's starting to see there's a lot of prejudice of 1922 and like African Americans. She's starting to realize that there's a lot more to the manor than what she originally thought. This is the first time I've ever seen a middle grade book or a kid's book that had to deal with like the real history of being African American in the 1920s in New Orleans, especially talking about the struggles of African Americans. And I thought that was great because there's not a lot of books that will have the courage to go into that, especially a middle grade book. So I am super excited to read this book. I really want to see what Miss Ireland has in store for me and for all of the other readers out there about this book. So Ophelia's Ghost by Justina Ireland. This is one of the books that I really want to read for the year of 2021. The next question is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that would be Tell Me by Anne Fraser. So this book is a series, and the first book is called Find Me, and it's about this FBI profiler or ex-FBI profiler named Rennie Fisher, and she is the daughter of a prolific serial killer, and her father would take her along with him to basically murder these women. She was a little girl at the time, and she would lure them to their death, and Rennie helps actually convict her father and sends him to prison. She's all grown up now, and her father has a request, and he says, I will tell you where all of the bodies are to the rest of the people you can't find if you bring me my daughter and you have her find them. And first Rennie is like, I don't want anything to do with this man. I quit being a profiler. I don't want anything to do with him, so no. But he was like, listen, if you guys want these bodies and you want to know where these people are, you're gonna get me my daughter. So Rennie goes and helps her father, and while she's out there with her father trying to find the bodies, this whole thing happens, and Rennie is into an even bigger rabbit hole than her father originally led them to believe. So the second book, it is about also Rennie, where everything else continues into the second novel. So I'm super excited to find out what else happens in this series, because that book was mind blown. So Tell Me by Anne Fraser, that is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year of 2021. So the next question is biggest disappointment of the year of 2021. You guys are gonna be so mad at me, so mad. Biggest disappointment was The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Sorry. So the book started out hot. It started out so good, and I was so into it. But once the ending hit, it was, to me, the most random thing. And I was like, where did all this come from? Am I missing something? I was confused. I was very confused, and I was very annoyed and upset. But okay, so let me explain. The issue that I had with the book is that you had a lot of information. I mean, you had suspects, you had motives, you had all of that. But in the end, it kind of didn't matter. Very little of it mattered, but when I say very little, I mean very little of it mattered. Plot twist was definitely a plot twist, don't get me wrong, but it was just like, so what were all these people for? But yes, The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Sorry, that was my biggest disappointment for the first half of the year. So the biggest surprise for the first half of the year of 2021 was From Blood and Ash. if you guys know, you guys remember, I was not the hugest fan of fantasy, but this book, and actually this author, made it super basic. She just made it super interesting, because there's a lot of fantasy books out there to where they don't pull from modern times to where you can kind of relate to the events that's happening. But this author, Jennifer L. Armentrout, with this book From Blood and Ash, she hit on that so well, and I was really surprised at how much I like this book. I don't have anything else to say about it, but I was super surprised at how much I like this book. I actually ended up reading the entire basically the entire series. Well, not the entire series, she does have more going on. Anyways, I was super surprised, because I did not think that, when I first picked up this book, I thought it was going to be about Dungeons and Dragons and fairies and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of is, but there's modernness to it, to where it was set back in that time frame of like the fairies, the dungeons, and the dragon, but it was like modern dialogue and modern events. It just made it easier for me to understand. It was more relatable. And I know what you're saying, Cameron, it's fantasy. Why is it relatable? There's a method to the madness. There's a method to the madness, and this book got the method to the madness. So yes, big surprise was From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The next one is favorite new author, and that would be Jennifer L. Armentrout. From Blood and Ash was actually the first book that I read from her, and I actually have her Storm and Fury series, which I'm reading next, and then the White Hot Kiss series. That one I am going to be reading as well. Like I said from the previous question, I just love how she's able to take modern times and mix it in with like those past times, and able to make it something to where it's a little bit more relatable and it's just a little bit more realistic. Jennifer L. Armentrout is my new favorite author for the first half of the year of 2021. I'm making really good time with these questions. Oh my gosh, yes! So the next question is newest fictional crush. I actually don't have one yet. I actually have the Brown Sisters trilogy on my shelf back here. I'm gonna be reading that one, so I'm anticipating that one of the guys from that book is going to be my fictional crush. First, I thought it was Hawk from Blood and Ash, but there was a lot of stuff going on with that character in that book to where I still feel a little salty from some stuff. So he's not he's not on the crush list. If you've read the books, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So the next question is newest favorite character, and that would be Erica Slaughter from Something is Killing the Children. So Erica Slaughter is just this chainsaw wielding badass who is basically, she has a mission to kill the monsters that are in neighboring towns, and she gets to this town to where this monster is starting to kill children, and she has to work fast because he is getting those kids and he's getting them fast. This book is very graphic when it comes to the monster eating the kids. So I would just be warned, if that's not something you can read, even though it's not something that I'd say I can handle. I know it's fictional, and then I can tell, like, you know what, Cameron, this isn't real, so just calm down. But if that's something you really don't want to see the graphicness of that book, I would just skip this book. Do you guys see her right here in this book where she's got a machete and she's looking at the monsters like, what? Like what are you gonna do? Erica Slaughter from Something is Killing the Children is my favorite new character for the first half of the year of 2021. So the next question is book that made you cry. I haven't read a book that's made me cry yet, and that's fine. You don't have to answer all these questions. I feel like a lot of people make it a point to answer everything, and no, if you haven't read anything that like you can't relate to on any of these questions, you're fine. Don't even worry about it. But yes, I have not read a book that's made me cry so far for the first half of the year. But the second question is a book that made you happy, and that would be Spy Family by Tatsuyo Endo. That book is, you guys already know how much I love Spy Family, so I'm not even gonna get into like the whole spiel, but I love this book. It makes me happy because it's just about the spy who has to go out and find this family ASAP because he needs to solve this mission, and he ends up caring for the family a lot more than he thought he would. And I just thought it was so cute, and it's just super funny, and it does make me happy because you start to see him really care for and go out of his way for these characters that really he can't stay with permanently, but he does start to make a family out of it. So that book made me happy, and it continues to make me happy because I'm on the third book. That is a book that makes me happy for the first half of the year of 2021. So the next question is the most beautiful book you've bought or received for the first half of the year, and that is Witches Steeped in Gold. This book, it is the Owl Crate edition, so it is just this gold embossed book, and then it's also signed. But I just love the design of this cover. It's not too far off from the original cover, but the book cover, or the jacket, the sleeve, however you want to call it, look at this. Look at how beautiful this drawing is. First of all, you got the guy who looks like Jacob Black in the back, and Team Jacob all the way until I die. And yeah, just look at these characters, and they're just so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And then basically just look at the cover of the book. It has this beautiful gold embossed tree where it is kind of like a metallic-y gold. I think it's super gorgeous, along with the side of the book. It's beautiful, and then it's also signed by the author. So this one, I want to read it, but I just get nervous because I don't want to mess it up. So I might just get it on audiobook, so that way I don't have to like open and touch the book so much, because I don't want to get my greasy little fingers all over it. But this is the most beautiful book that I've received for the first half of the year of 2021. So last but not least is the last question. It is the books that you need to read by the end of the year. You guys see this cart right here? I need to read all of that by the end of the year. So I'm only gonna list a few of them, but then I also have other books, and it is Shadow and Ember by J.L. Armentrout, Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Sane, Hawthorne Legacy 2 by Jennifer L. Barnes, None Shall Sleep by Ellie Marney, Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, Heart of Flame, Nikki Preto, Nevermore by Jessica Townsend, and there's just so many other books that I need to read for the rest of the year. My goal is it's basically quality over quantity. I don't want to read 100 books just for the sake of reading 100 books and saying that I read 100 books. Please do not stress yourself out, because the biggest thing that you don't want to do is not enjoy reading. And if I ever just not enjoy reading, I don't know what I would do. That is all that I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really appreciate you guys supporting me and just leaving me these comments under books, and letting me, when you guys tell me that you guys pick up a book that I recommended, you have no idea how happy that makes me. It makes me so happy, and I want you guys to like DM me, message me, email me, whatever, and tell me what you thought about the book, because I want to know what other people thought. And I'm like, okay, there's this part in the book that I don't know about, so it'd just be really cool to talk to somebody about it. So yes, let me know if you guys pick up a book that I recommended, and let me know how you guys like the book. So that would make me so happy, so happy. Rambling, let me let you guys go because I have to go to work in like 30 minutes. But yes, I love you all so much. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.